This is Dabu7. This is a big update in terms of this crash. For the first time, they state that this craft hit something before final impact. Now, I want to share with you bits and pieces here from the final moments inside the cockpit. I just want to go over what they're saying at this point. And like I said, we have to take in all this information, use discernment, and keep on pushing. You can't forget the details that we've got from the other witnesses that I've done in separate videos as well up to this point. Now I'm going to read what they're saying happened in these final moments. They state that we hear the pilot asking the co-pilot to take over, and we hear the sound of a chair being pushed back and a door closing. So we assume that the captain went to the toilet to go to the bathroom. So the co-pilot is on his own. And it is while he's on his own that the co-pilot is in charge of the plane, and he uses the flight management system to start descending the flight. At this altitude, this can only be done voluntarily. We hear several shouts from the captain asking to get in, speaking through an intercom system. He punched in these codes and he could actually see him in the cockpit, and there was no response. The guy in the cockpit could see the captain trying to get in, no response. Then Mr. Lubitz, the co-pilot that is responsible for all this, they're saying, was just sitting there calmly breathing. It was not of somebody struggling, they say. It was a calm, rhythmed breathing. He never said a single word. It was total silence in the cockpit for the last 10 minutes. Nothing. Just hearing his breathing and everything in the background. That's when they say that there are alarm systems that indicate to all those on board the proximity of the ground. Then we hear noises of someone trying to break down the door. The door is reinforced according to international standards since 9/11, so this caused them problems. Just before final impact, this is key. Just before final impact, we hear the sound of a first impact. It's believed that the plane may have hit something or been hit by something before the final impact. There's no distress signal, no mayday signal, no answer was received during this, but this first sign here that they're admitting that they heard an impact could explain the smoke that was seen by other witnesses in a loud noise. Question now, what was that first impact? What is going to impact a plane in the air before it hits a mountain? Because they're not saying it skimmed off the top of another mountain. It hit the side of this mountain. That's where all the debris is. There's nothing else at 6,000 feet, guys, that this can strike, is my point. Unless something struck it. There's no reports of it hitting another plane, another aircraft. This is the first sign, proof out of their own mouth, coming from this audio, that this thing hit something or was hit by something before final impact. And this is gold. These are the small bits and pieces we're going to have to keep an eye on here. And let's just remember the White House came out and said before there was even an emergency crew on the ground, before the smoke was even out, they ruled terror out. Period. And it's not to say that this was connected to any other terror group or anything. It's just highly suspicious that any high organization, any agency, anyone out there, professional, would come out and make a statement like that having no proof whatsoever. It could have been shot out of the sky. They had no proof. They had no evidence. Why would they risk making a statement like that? That's my thing. A lot of things not adding up here, obviously. And people want to talk MK. Yeah. A lot of things not adding up here. But at this point, I want to make it clear. I want everyone to know this is what they're saying. This hit something before impact, before final impact. They're labeling it the sound of a first impact. Could also be something inside the cabin going. Something happened before this thing hit the mountain is my point to all of you. And they just admitted it. Why is the mainstream media refusing to hit on these key facts? Why? Why are they not mentioning witnesses, multiple witnesses, that seen smoke and heard loud noises? Now it all makes sense. Regardless of what's going on with the pilot here, something else has gone on that they're refusing to talk about. And I think that if you find the answer to that, therein lies the keys to unlocking this whole thing. And it looks like, you guessed it, they're in on this on many different levels already. For them to be avoiding these golden facts, we're going to force them to see it. That's what we're here to do. This is Dabu 7. Eyes open.